This video will present information on the Airport Boulevard Extension Project, a project being carried out by the town of Morrisville in cooperation with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. This video is a way for you to learn about the project and to ask questions and provide comments to the town of Morrisville and NCDOT. It is important that we hear from you, and there are several ways you can submit questions or comments. You may visit the project's website, send an email message, or phone in your comments or questions using the project's hotline. You may also telephone us directly during the virtual meeting. The phone number and email address are also available on the project website and will be presented again at the end of this presentation. Your comments are a key factor as decisions are made about the project. Other key decision factors include comments from local governments and federal and state agencies, safety factors, community and environmental impacts, traffic benefits, and costs. This is the location of the Airport Boulevard corridor as it exists today, beginning at Raleigh-Durham International Airport and running southwest to just south of Davis Drive. As can be seen, there is currently an approximately 1-mile gap along Airport Boulevard between Garden Square Lane and Chapel Hill Road. This project would fill that gap. The project is identified in Morrisville's 2019 Comprehensive Transportation Plan. The plan describes Airport Boulevard as one of the town's strategic corridors for accommodating rapid growth and one of Morrisville's gateways from Interstate 40. The plan also describes how the existing gap in Airport Boulevard creates difficult travel patterns, which negatively affects other area roadways. There are two main purposes for pursuing this project. One is to enhance connectivity between Chapel Hill Road and Davis Drive. The other is to improve multimodal traffic mobility on the local roadway network, meaning mobility not just for cars and trucks, but for pedestrians and bicycles as well. Now let's turn to a close-up view of the project location. Here we can see Davis Drive, Chapel Hill Road, and McCrimmon Parkway. The existing Airport Boulevard is shown in blue. The project is being developed in two phases. Phase 1 extends from the existing stub at Garden Square Lane to Church Street. Phase 2 runs from Church Street to Chapel Hill Road. In addition to Morrisville's plan, both phases of the project are included in the Capital Region's Metropolitan Transportation Plan. The town of Morrisville has received federal funding for Phase 1 of the project from the Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization as part of the Locally Administered Projects Program. The town has entered into an agreement with NCDOT to manage the project's environmental study and engineering. The NCDOT's State Transportation Improvement Program, or STIP, includes the Airport Boulevard project, along with several others in the area. Some of these projects are for new roadways. Others are meant to widen or upgrade existing roads. The STIP also includes projects such as adding sidewalks, new transit routes, and other types of projects which are not shown here. For more information about these projects, you may contact the NCDOT Customer Service Center. Contact information is shown on the Airport Boulevard brochure, which is available on the NCDOT website. We will now turn our attention to the project itself, describing the roadway alternatives and their expected impacts. We'll start by looking at Phase 1, from Garden Square Lane to Church Street. This image shows the basic design drawing for Phase 1 placed over an aerial photograph. The project follows a corridor that was set aside several years ago. To accommodate turn lanes to and from this new section of Airport Boulevard, the project will also require improvements at Town Hall Drive and Church Street. The main Airport Boulevard roadway would look like this. It would have two 12-foot lanes in each direction, a 20-foot raised median, a 5-foot sidewalk on one side, and a 10-foot multi-use path on the other. The posted speed limit would be 45 miles per hour. Where Town Hall Drive crosses the new Airport Boulevard, the design would look like this. Town Hall Drive would have two 12-foot lanes in each direction, a 16-foot wide left turn lane, and 5-foot sidewalks on both sides. And where Church Street crosses the project, the design would have one 12-foot lane in each direction, a 16-foot wide continuous left turn lane, and 5-foot sidewalks on both sides. The expected impacts of the Phase 1 project include 480 linear feet of stream impacts, 0.3 acres of wetland impacts, small strips of land or easements from 39 parcels, one residential relocation, and a total of 1.9 acres of land to be acquired. Phase 2 of the project extends from Church Street to Chapel Hill Road. Because this phase is not currently funded for land acquisition or construction, the design is preliminary. There are two alternative routes under consideration for this phase. In this aerial view, the photo has been rotated slightly, with north pointing to the upper right. The blue area shows the Phase 1 project. This is Church Street, and here is Chapel Hill Road, and the railroad that runs alongside it. And this is the existing Airport Boulevard as it heads toward Raleigh-Durham International Airport. This is Alternative 1. It continues from the Phase 1 project and lines up directly with the existing Airport Boulevard. This new section of Airport Boulevard will need to be built over the railroad tracks. And because the tracks are so close to Chapel Hill Road, the bridge will need to span the road as well. This will require construction of a loop from Airport Boulevard to Chapel Hill Road. This is the other alternative being considered, Alternative 2. It would also require a bridge over the railroad tracks and Chapel Hill Road, but it would not line up with the existing Airport Boulevard. Instead, it would be shifted to the east. This shift would only require a small service road that would connect to the existing AirTech Drive, along with a small length of pavement to reconnect to the existing Airport Boulevard. It would, however, require two businesses to be relocated. The Phase 2 project would have the same basic design for Airport Boulevard as the Phase 1 project shown previously. A preliminary impact assessment has been conducted for these two alternatives. Both alternatives would have a small effect on wetlands and surface waters, in no case more than 0.4 of an acre. Stream impacts would be greater with Alternative 2. The number of parcels affected are nearly the same for both alternatives. While both would require two residential relocations, Alternative 2 would also require two business relocations, as mentioned previously. Alternative 2 would also require more overall land acquisition. We'll now take a moment to discuss other improvements associated with the overall project. The term complete streets means that a street or highway project is not considered complete until different types of transportation, other than cars and trucks, are studied and implemented when warranted. This can mean such things as including sidewalks, bike lanes, bus turnouts, or other improvements to mobility. It is the policy of both NCDOT and the town of Morrisville to incorporate these kinds of features into all projects when warranted. On this project, both sidewalks and a multi-use path are proposed along the new roadway. In addition, there will be an at-grade pedestrian crossing where the Indian Creek Greenway would cross the new Airport Boulevard. The proposed schedule calls for the current environmental study to conclude in the late summer of this year. Assuming no significant environmental or community issues arise, right-of-way acquisition for Phase 1 is expected to begin late this year, with construction beginning next summer. As previously mentioned, the Phase 2 project is currently unfunded for any activities beyond this study. It is important to remember that the alternative to not build the project, the no-build alternative, remains under consideration. It is only after the environmental documentation for this project is complete that a final decision can be made about whether the project should continue. And now, as we conclude this presentation, we want to hear your comments and questions. There are several ways for you to do this, as shown here. This same information is available on the project's website. And during the project virtual meeting, you can call and record your comments and questions. They will be sent immediately to the project team members for their response during the meeting.